all praises to the heavenly creator of the universe, the earth, the seas, humanity, and all there is. I am back before you again, a humble servant of the Holy Creator and a humble brother coming to sit before you again and make presentation. This is Revelations.Unveiled Detroit, and I am back to give the second part and second installment of the Sabbath Wisdom series. And I am excited as always, because this is an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to come and speak to my brothers and sisters out there, the scattered tribes of the house of Israel. So we're going to get into this series or this installment, this episode, presentation, show, whatever you would like to deem it. We are continuing up with our books of wisdom, in which today we will be hearing the second chapter of the Song of Solomon, and we will be getting the hardcore wisdom of Solomon. So I am going to reintroduce us all to the primary audience, and then I am grateful for any other members outside of the primary audience who may be touched or educated or whatever the case of positivity may be. So for this presentation, you will need your King James Version Bible, 1611 edition, and or your King James Version Bible with an accompanying Apocrypha, the little red book. So we will get started. All praises to the Creator that we were able to come back on this Holy Sabbath day to hear His word and be together and rest and to look for and to be seen by the Creator and His word made flesh that the world calls Jesus Christ. So we are getting to the primary audience people or members, and we will start at Exodus chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. All right, family. Those are the primary audience members of the wisdoms for today. And of course, as stated, any other primary members that join us, all praises, come sit down. Let's have a listen. We can hold hands and let's get the word of the Lord. So in the first installment, we got a sip of Solomon's wisdom with his example of justice and equity and discernment with the two ladies and two babies. And then we went and visited the first chapter of the Song of Solomon. We went back and dived into Ecclesiastes and Proverbs, the second chapter. So definitely review those. And this is what I do personally, real quick. I go to the page, I hit the playlist, I hit the series, and I hit play and let them all just run. And it is increasing. It is wonderful. It is fabulous. It gets on your soul and it will make you walk correct for that day. So I advise that, do that. It helps me. So now we are over in 1 Kings, 4th chapter, chapter 4. And what we're going to do here is get a little more understanding of our brother, King Solomon, and his status and his wielding and his use and his displays of wisdom. So we are going to get some clarity on what is the deal with brother King Solomon, son of King David. 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 29 through 34. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt. Verse 30. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Chachol, and Darda, the sons of Mahal, and his fame was in all nations round about. And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. And he spake of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts and fowl, and of creeping things, and of fishes. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon, from all kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. All right, now, y'all, got a little bit more clarity on how high of a level brother King Solomon was dealing with. So we're going to keep it moving. And we are now going to visit the wisdom in song form and lyrics. So you are going to have to grasp at your imagination whatever that favorite melody or tune is in your head. Get it started. We're getting ready to have King Solomon put some verses to that harmony in your universal cranium. So here it comes. This is the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valleys. As the lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. As the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among the sons. I sat under his shadow with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me was love. Stay me, flagons, comfort me with apples, for I am sick of love. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand does embrace me. I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes and by the hinds of the field, that you stir not up, nor awake my love, till he please. The voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills. My beloved, like a roe or a young hart, behold, he standeth behind our wall. He looketh forth at the windows, showing himself through the lattice. My beloved spake and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth. The time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. Verse 13. The fig tree putteth forth her green figs, and the vines with the tender grape give a good smell. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. O my dove, that art in the clefts of the rock, in the secret places of the stairs. Let me see thy countenance. Let me hear thy voice, for sweet is your voice, and thy countenance is comely. Take us foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes. My beloved is mine, and I am his. He feedeth among the lilies until the day break and the shadows flee away. Turn, my beloved, and be you like a roe or a young hart upon the mountains of Bether. That was beautiful, y'all. That was beautiful. That was Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 1 through 17. So let's take a moment, because reading that was calming and it was peaceful, and it stirred in my soul a bit. So I am going to continue to implore you to open up your books of the Lord and read. When you read out loud, you make your spirit churn and stir, and it is activating in this flesh for correction, and it is providing you an internal peace that you are speaking yourself the words of the Holy Creator. All praises, all praises, all praises, all praises, all praises. Yes, absolutely. And I'm slowly marinating before I actually get on over to the second and conclusion of today's series. So it is going to be from the Apocryphal text. So again, another time where I implore, I beseech, I humbly petition you as a being, and this is directed to my quote unquote Christian family of brothers and sisters, get an apocryphal book, read the book, especially understand First and Second Maccabees, so you can fill in the gap of your understanding of the New Testament when you read the Bible, and then go from Malachi, last book of the Old Testament, to Matthew, first book of the New Testament. If you do not read First and Second Maccabees of the apocryphal text, your understanding of the New Testament is folly and vanity and incomplete. And when you talk to a Hebrew Israelite who is growing in the word, you start to sound very simple. And then you don't understand that Hebrew Israelite. So that is that. Continuing on, we are at the wisdom of Solomon of the apocryphal texts, chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist, and that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. Verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passes away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean, contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objects to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. He professes to have the knowledge of God, and calls himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstains from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounced the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his Father. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the Son of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Verse 19. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine, and were deceived, for their own wickedness had blinded them. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the, verse 22, as for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For God created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Every time, y'all, I be like, man, this is some heavy stuff. This is some heavy stuff. We are dealing with the spoken word of the holy, heavenly creator of all, master of the universe. And right now I'm sitting here with my hand over my head, my eyes closed, and I'm like, man, the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, that just put some concepts and some context into a brighter light for me. I mean, it gave us there an outline of the mindset and mind frame and technique and agenda of the wicked, unrighteous, ungodly man, and his plan against a righteous and godly man. So these spiritual verses we are getting here on this episode tonight and in the other series, when we get those and then we leave out into the street, and in the preceding series we were learning about wisdom. Wisdom crieth aloud in the streets. When we leave our doors and we have heard these principles and they are now within our spirit, we're supposed to meet with wisdom outside at the corner, shake hands, hug, and through the course of our walk for that day, we're supposed to be hand in hand with wisdom. And wisdom cannot be with unrighteousness and deceit and hate and animosity. So when we leave out of our homes and start our daily journey after the Lord has blessed upon us that day the gift and the breath of life, and we have an opportunity from that point to get it right that day, look for wisdom. So wisdom, which is the Holy Spirit of the Lord Creator himself. Get it, walk with it, put it on like a jacket and a hat and socks and gloves, face mask, boots, wisdom, Holy Spirit, put that all on the day, on with you that day. And then you will be covered. And if it's cold, you will be warm. And if you scared, that is your armor. And if you bold, that is your sword. Wisdom, the Holy Spirit of the Lord, as being disseminated to us by brother King Solomon. I heard that. I'm going to employ that and use that. I beseech, beg, and petition my brothers of the 12 tribes of the house of Jacob and of Israel, and any other audience members who gets to these messages. The Lord has increased our spiritual antenna. We are hearing tonight and in the previous days direct, cosmic, righteous communication directly into your spiritual satellite dish. Turn on your brain, which is your medium of display, so you can get this signal and see it and broadcast it. And that is your programming, your carnal direction due to your spiritual programming, so that the Lord's script and show can show in you when people look at you. That is what I'm going to do. That is what is being done. So be it. All praises to the heavenly creator. This is the second part of our Sabbath wisdom series. When you do these readings, the passion and the spirit of the Lord gets on you. You get to talking fast and stuttering and stuff flying out your mouth, and you're excited and you just want to keep reading, but we're going to keep order. Lord willing, we are blessed again with the gift and breath of life and the opportunity to get to the next Sabbath, where the third part of the series will come about, and I'm excited already. I am going to run this back on the playlist. Like I said, 2 whole weeks, just let them go. Just bang it right to me. Give it to me. Oh, bam, 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 bam. Right in my brain, right in my soul. Now I got to act right. Yes, yes, yes. Got to do it. Have to do it. Jacob, Israel, 12 tribes scattered all over the earth. This is our station for the reconciliation of our nation as we get back to the hopeful blessings of our holy covenant with the creator of all creation, the universe, the earth, the seas, humanity, all there is. 12 tribes, you know your name. We're listening to our King Brother Solomon give it straight to us. Until I'm back with you again, I love you. I really do. It calms my soul to say that to you. I love you. Please continue to try to walk right and do good and be good and be well and heal well and endure and persevere and overcome. Maybe if one day we get seen trying that, that could be that day when the Messiah returns to earth. And on that one day you was doing and trying that, you could be deemed worthy for entrance into the kingdom of heaven on earth. I pray thee, I pray for thee in love until we are back together again. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit.